This video shows you how to create a data table using Datawrapper. This data table has 62 pages. There's a search function. For example, I want rivers. It has these river sites. And the data comes from the UNESCO World Heritage Sites. Um, the other features, you can store any of these. Um, and so let's begin. We can create this visualization of a data table by first starting with the data set. We have a clean data set. So this is the underlying data. And let's open Datawrapper and create a new table. The data source where the data is coming from is just the URL. So we copy the link of the Google Sheet, make sure it's on the correct tab, and select Google Connect Google Sheet and paste it right here in this box. And don't forget to share your Google Sheet so that it's visible to the public. Otherwise, Datawrapper cannot find it. Okay, go to next. In this page, this step, there's a couple of the columns you might not need to use. So you could scroll and say, I only want to show, for example, the name, the date, the size, the category, the country, and the region. So that's up to you, but this is how you would go about hiding. You click on one of the column you don't want to show, check the box, hide it. Okay, and this one, we can hide it. So I'll just go through that process to hide a bunch of these. In the data table, we don't need the latitude and longitude. So quickly going through each one of these. I think that's fine. The abbreviation, we don't need it in this table. And then even the transparent boundary, maybe not necessary. Okay. So that's fine. Let's go to the next step. We should customize this a little bit. Notice that the description is very long. So I might want to hide the description. And so let's go back a step and go to description and hide that as well. So it doesn't create this very kind of very tall rows in the table. Okay, so now we want to control some of the formatting. The first thing I might play with is to make the entire table bigger, maybe 900 width. And I might want to increase the width I give to the site and edit this site column. So you select site, and once you select it below this, you can make it bold, you can change any of the styles. To make the fixed column width, you turn this on. You say the minimum width should be at least 150 and see what happens. And then the percentage could be, let's say 30, even 40. Okay, so it looks a little better. It's the region seems to be creating 3 lines, and maybe we need to give it more width. So you just experiment and fine tune this. So we give this a little more space. Yeah. So that's editable. Okay. When you have these other options, you have the search box. So you can say make searchable, check that box. You can create these stripe effects. So click on show stripes. So typically that's a good idea to be able to follow each row. And mobile fallback, I like to do that. Compact layout. It's up to you. I think for a long list of items, maybe compact would be fine. And then the markdown, I'll explain a little later. Notice that in the final version, these links, these titles are links and they actively click out. So how do you make this effect? How do you create this link and make it work? There's two ways to do it. I'll show you probably the better ways to change it in the data set in Google Sheet. So to make that change, what we have to do is we have to duplicate this and make a copy of it. And once you make a copy of it, the final result looks like this. You make a copy of it and you have this site link here. And that's the site, the page that's going to link out. So to generate this new column, we'll go through this step by step. We kind of want to reverse engineer how the sites look like, how the links look like. What is the address of a specific site? So we go to the WHS heritage site, the original website, and let's say this is one of them. It's interesting that they say, the URL has this conventional format. This is going to be constant, we know that, but 154 actually matches the ID. This is the ID number. If we search in the data set and look for the Great Barrier Reef, we'll see that the ID is 154. And that's what we have here. So you're basically concatenating or combining those two columns, combining the string, the static string. So I'm going to copy this static string, go back to the file, the worksheet I was working with, this one, and duplicate it because I don't want to really, in case other software are using, other visualizations are using this data. So I want to make a duplicate of this. And this is a copy of it. And I can call this clean with links. Okay. I insert a new column. You can put it basically anywhere. Call this the link. And using the formula equals concat, you're concatenating two values. One is the static value, so you put parentheses, the static string, put a comma, and the second one is the ID. And then close the parentheses. Let's see if this link works. It says, do I want to auto-complete? Yes, autofill every single site. Okay, so let's actually click on any random one of these. It seems to be working. So that's how I have it in Google Sheets. Now, how do I get it into the Datawrapper? So I copy this sheet because it's different from this original sheet. This is the copy version. I copy this sheet and I go back to upload the data and I override it with this one. Sometimes Datawrapper doesn't refresh and it's not very smart about it, but this time it is good. If you have to, you just click on the refresh button and you'll update and bring in and show you and display the new information. So we have link. So let's go to the next step. And we have this link information here. Let's see if I pause markdown will work. It doesn't do anything. So we do have to do another additional step. We have to put this link as an HTML code with this in between, with the actual title of the site in between. So I'm going to edit this a little bit. This is a little more advanced formula. So instead of concat, I'm going to use the concatenate function. So because there's more than two, you can have as many as you want when you use concatenate. In front of this, I need the string A. This is just HTML code. That means this is a link. Okay. And so that's fine. This will get us the link. So then from here, we have to add a add the close bracket because you're opening the bracket here. Then you're saying this is the full link, you're closing the bracket. And then in between this tag, this A tag, is the actual title. So that's gonna be these characters of this word. And then you have to close the tag. So you have to do this closing of the tag. So you have to close the tag. Okay, close the A tag. I believe that's the entire code. So we'll take a look at it. Yeah, so that's like the HTML code you would put into a web page HTML code. We know this works, so I'm going to drag it up and copy it to every single row. Okay, all 1,000 of these. Okay, this is everything. And now let's go back to Datawrapper and update the data. The good thing about Datawrapper and Google Sheet is Datawrapper will always automatically refresh itself when you update the data in the Google Sheet because you have set this link. So if you want to be safe, you could go to the homepage of Datawrapper, click back into it, reload it, and see what happens. See if he recognizes these new links. So this is great. It has the links. Now, actually, I don't want to show this column. I actually directly want to show this column, and I might rename this link to be something else. So that's change it and say this is the site, and here is the site text. Again, that's why we make a copy, because if we had changed this would look very bad for any other visualization that's using the same data source. So we're going to hide this column in Datawrapper and just show this only. So let's go to Datawrapper, go to check and describe, go to site, hide it, and then visualize. I believe this will be too narrow, so I'm going to go back to okay, so you see the link is not updated yet. It should actually say site. So let's do the refresh and see if it updates when you refresh the browser and reload the page. Hopefully it should say site text. Okay, you got a little confused. Datawrapper sometimes is not ideal. So this is the site text. Let's go back. This is the page. And then the site text is this. We actually want site. So we're just troubleshooting and debugging to make sure it loads the correct thing. And sometimes if you just create a new one and redo all the formatting, it's faster than trying to troubleshoot. Just create a new Datawrapper. Okay, so we'll live with it for now, and maybe it'll refresh and fix itself. But the links are not active, so that's a big problem. Okay, let's see. What if I publish it? If I go to the final step and say publish now, if the final version that the public sees is good, then this eventually will update. Let's open it. Okay, it's showing the site text. So I think the quickest way to fix it is just to create a new one. But maybe worth one last try. Let's say I go here, hide this column, and then for the site, do not hide this column, because we use the same word. Maybe that confused it to site. Okay, this looks much better in terms of just functionality. Okay, and so if there's no other formatting or sorting, maybe we can sort it by there's a sort function, sort the table, and logically you could sort it by date. That's fine. So what are the most recent ones in descending order? You can set it as ascending order. It's up to you. it might make sense to sort it by the area, maybe. Definitely descending order. These are the largest sites. So that's up to you. And then the pagination, notice it's on the top, but it's not on the bottom. So you check the box. There's a checkbox that says show pagination and select top and bottom. Why not? Makes life easier for anyone. You can play with the heat map as well. So you can turn on the heat map. In this case, I'm turning on the heat map for this continuous variable area. So I might want to undo this if I don't like it. So there's a way to not show the heat map. But there's a lot of controls you could make. The reason it chose the area is because I was highlighting the area. But you might want to heat map the region. So let's try that. And there's many different ways to control these things. Deactivate heat map. Okay. This will turn all number columns into a heat map. Okay. And so I think that's all for now. That's the data table function in Datawrapper. To publish, you publish here, you turn on the visualization and open up the page. And that's what everyone else will see. There's a lot of formatting and annotations section where you can change the title and so on and so forth. I always include the source so other people can recreate the data visualization on their own. Okay, then we'll stop here.